back at the Who is Will Sims podcast. Today my guest is Ella Rose. How you doing, Ella?
I'm doing great. Super happy to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining me. We first met. I did that open mic up in New York at Auto's Shrunken Head. That was the first time
Yes.
I saw you. There was so many talented people there that night. I feel like I don't know if that's just like a normal thing at New York open mics where you just get like all these mega talented people just looking, for a space to play and network.
Definitely. Yeah. Auto Shrunken Head. I've definitely found my family in New York there. Um, yeah, I go every Wednesday and all of the musicians are so talented. And I'm so inspired by everybody who goes up there. You get like the regular crowd, but also like new people who come in. So it's so great to constantly be meeting people and to experience their art.
Nice. So basically, the flow here at the podcast is like to go back and kind of start at the beginning of your musical journey, and then we work our way up to where you are now. So, what would you say one of your earliest memories are that relates to music?
Ooh. Um, well, when I was 3 years old, I learned like the word to every song in the musical Annie, and I would perform it for my family. And I guess ever since then, I never stopped singing. Um, I was in voice lessons all the way through elementary school. Um, and I always like had a journal where I would write down ideas and I would just like hum little melodies. But I never started writing songs until I was in middle school. In middle school, I picked up the guitar and I got really serious about it. And one summer, I was like, I am going to teach myself guitar. I'm going to write as many songs as I can. And this was when I was in sixth grade. And it just continued throughout when I was in middle school. At the same time, I was doing musical theater. Um, and then when I got into high school, I attended a summer camp called Interlochen Center for the Arts, and I studied songwriting during the summer, and that was just like an incredible experience because I never thought that. I don't know. I never really took my music too seriously till I met a few amazing teachers who like believed in me and what I wanted to say. And after I attended my first summer at Interlochen, I was just writing constantly. Yeah, I didn't have many friends in high school, so I just would write music and was just like immersed in that world. And then I went back for a second summer. When I went back for the second summer, I focused on music production and songwriting. So both those worlds during that summer really came together. Um, and then I ended up going to their boarding school, um, a year-round boarding school, and I studied songwriting. I took classes in music industry, song structure, lyric writing, music production. Um, yeah, and during that time, I was really able to hone my craft, but at the same time, meet so many awesome people and professors. Um, I ended up coming back from the boarding school because of COVID, and during COVID, I auditioned for colleges, like into their music programs. Um, I knew that I always wanted to go to Frost School of Music, which is part of the University of Miami. That had been my dream school ever since I was a freshman in high school. So I worked all my senior year of high school getting my application together, while taking songwriting classes at the same time. I would pay for my own classes, and then I submitted a bunch of the material to my college auditions So I auditioned for the Frost School of Music. I really, really fell in love with the program and the professors. And I went to their 4-year program. I majored in modern artistry development and entrepreneurship, which is just a fancy way of saying like songwriting for like the entrepreneur. So I took songwriting classes and then I took music business classes. There I met so many incredible professors that just they didn't alter my sound, but they believed in what I had to say, which pushed me further into my craft. Um, yeah, I guess, yeah. And then after I left music school, I came to New York just to really find a community, and I started in the open mic circuit. And yeah, now I'm booking my own shows and going to other people's shows and just, yeah, trying to build like the best community I can.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh, over that time, were you ever like in a band or a group? Like, did you perform at all?
Yes. So when I was at the University of Miami Frost School of Music, I was part of several ensembles to where it was a class per semester. Um, and we were put in a group. I loved that so much because I got to work with people who I normally wouldn't have formed a band with. Um, but yeah, that was my only really band experience until I moved to the city and I played with now I play in a duo. Um, we have a couple shows coming up. But yeah.
Nice. What was it like performing live for the first time?
Ooh, live for the first time. Good question. Um, I don't know. I just like felt this like adrenaline rush. I'm not shy, but I'm very intentional in what I like want to say. Um, so it was so cool just getting to stand up with my guitar and just communicate all my feelings through song. Um, I remember the first time I performed, I still do it today, but I I don't black out, but it's like I'm in my own world, I'm in my own bubble, and then people like I get to invite people into that bubble. So yeah.
It's funny. I feel there's a lot of things you said that like kind of parallel feelings that I've had. Definitely like feeling like performing is like a very intentional, like you're trying to create this experience for people. And I definitely feel like my best performances are when I'm just like kind of locked in and I'm not
Of
thinking
course,
and
yeah.
but yeah. So who would you say are some of your biggest musical influences?
Um, Taylor Swift, Phoebe Bridgers, and then I really love like Joni Mitchell, Nick Drake. He's he was like a songwriter in the 70s. His lyrics are just so beautiful and they really speak to me. Elliott Smith. Um, I love how intimate his songs are. When I'm listening to him, like I just feel like I'm in his bedroom. Um, yeah, those are some of the main ones.
Nice. Was there like a CD or like a an album or something like that you had as a kid that felt like it really captured your attention, kind of really drew you in?
Yes, so Taylor Swift's Speak Now album, um I would just sit with my CD player and listen to the album. My little brother passed away when I was really young, And so that album was so therapeutic for me. And it felt like she really understood, yeah, what I was feeling.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, I don't know if, like you said, like if you had, I don't know how old you are, but if you had CD, like, I had the Walkman, I would just listen to CDs until they were so scratched up, I had to buy new copies of it and stuff. So, so you've got music out there, you can go stream it. How do you feel about the studio experience versus playing live?
That's such a good question. The studio experience, I've had to become very intentional about the mindset I put myself in when I go into the studio, because I'm a perfectionist, and of course, what like things aren't going to be perfect, but I feel like that's kind of the beauty in it, in recording. Like, I've kind of strayed away from trying to make everything perfect, and now, like, I'll take a vocal take and there will be some imperfections in it. But then like when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, "Oh, that's actually that's cool. I actually love it." Um Performing live, I of course, like, I get to share my story, really be in the moment. But when I'm recording, it's like, how do I make this feel authentic? Like, I try not to lose, like, the meaning of the song behind the technical aspect. Um, but yeah, I love both, and I'm recording a ton right now, so more to come.
Nice. Yeah, just listening to the three songs you have, like, I don't know, like, how much like production was incorporated into it. Like, did you just go in with your guitar and play them, and then they kind of built all those textures and stuff that are in there, or did you kind of come in with a lot of these, kind of layers and stuff? What was like that process like for in the recording?
Of course. So the first song I released, it's called Thinking. It's kind of an homage to my grandfather, who passed away. He was such a big part of my life. But basically, when I was writing that song, I was sitting by a lake, watching like the lights of a building reflect on the lake. And I don't think I have synesthesia, but I do look at things and hear sounds. And so I was hearing all of these textures as I was writing the song, of like synthesizers and different like melodic parts of instruments. So what you're hearing in that song, it's all like ideas that I sketched out. And that was actually an assignment I had at school that I spent like all semester trying to refine it. And then before it was released, I sent it to, I collaborated with one of my classmates on just making sure it was really polished. Um, and then for Bicycles in Caroline, I wasn't really hearing too much production, but I was hearing like really beautiful string parts. So what happened for those songs was that my friend recorded piano for both Bicycles and Caroline. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the piano home. I'm gonna listen to it and like see if I have any ideas flowing. Um, and then for the strings, I had a classmate from school record virtually. So he sent me the parts. And then I worked with this music producer who is awesome. His name is Frank. He works at Brooklyn Music Studios, and yeah, we kind of sat together and we recorded a vocal on top. Um, and we kind of like talked through how I wanted it to be like simplistic, but also have like textures. So we really, we used, we kind of formed the cello and the piano into one instrument. Like at parts, like the cello will like poke out and you'll be like, oh my gosh, like there it is. But it's intentionally supposed to feel like meshed together so it feels like it's underwater. Um, yeah, so we worked on that, recorded the vocals. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that across the three tracks. There's like this. It's just like I say. It's almost like this textural, like the way that the you're not listening to it and hearing like what you would normally hear from a lot of artists, which is like, a backbeat, a bass line. Like none of that stuff is in there. It's almost like you're trapped inside of this feeling or emotion, and that's kind of you're kind of on this, you know, trip through the song. And the other thing that really stuck out to me is lyrically, like they're very visual. Like you're talking about things, and like you're kind of getting these pictures in your head of this, almost like of this story that you're telling in this song. And and then there's also like layers to the vocal. Particularly, I'm thinking it's almost like a little trippy what they did with the vocals and some of the parts where you're just like what's going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, the production on these is really great. The song Bicycles, the piano, like the backing music in that, it kind of reminded me of like something you'd hear in like a video game, like if you were like in kind of like a game you were like exploring. It kind of had this very somber, melancholic feel to it that you know just kind of captured me. So it's cool, like So and all these were recorded with the at the same studio, essentially, right? I know that they all kind of.
Yes. So, well, Thinking was recorded entirely at the Frost School of Music, and then Bicycles and Caroline, the piano was recorded at Frost School of Music, and then same with the cello, but then the vocals were recorded at Brooklyn Native Music Studio.
Nice. So your most recent track is Caroline, and so the I always think about this in my songwriting because I write a lot of songs that are about people, but I would never like name anybody in one of my songs. So I don't know if Caroline is an actual person, or if it's just like a character that you created for the purpose of the song.
Yeah, so Caroline is an actual person. I got like the melody for Caroline. That's the first part I wrote. And I tried like a bunch of names like as placeholders and nothing really like stuck. So I just decided to use Caroline. Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're recording a bunch of stuff. Is this all going to be part of an album that you're working towards, or you're just kind of planning to keep drop singles and stuff throughout, however whatever the game plan is for that?
Yes. Great question. I am So I'm rolling out singles one by one. It's going to be a 5-track EP altogether. So I have Bicycles, Caroline. I have a song coming out in September, and then two more after that. So after they're all released, you'll be able to go on Spotify and listen to them as like a collection.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've got the EP coming. You've got some shows lined up. Anything else? Any other big plans for the future?
As of right now, I'm just really, really working on my recorded body of work. I'm really excited to play the Mercury Lounge on September 3rd, and then also play in your lineup at Brooklyn Music Kitchen. I'm really
Yes, I'm
excited for that.
really hoping that all comes
Yeah,
together. I'm still waiting on a couple of details to finalize, but I really hope that works out because I think it's going to be a great show.
definitely.
All right, one more question, and then we'll kind of get into like some fun, like what if questions, kind of wrap it up. But
Awesome.
are there any other like avenues of creativity you'd like to explore?
Like different mediums.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
acting, like photography, video work, stuff like that.
I would really, really like to get into painting and also like more of the visual art realm. I like designed the cover for bicycles, but I don't really know how to draw. So I would love to continue with that. And then also like photography, I think that would be such a cool way to really capture my songs because so much of my lyrics are visual. Um, so I would love to grow in that realm.
Yeah, I got a camera last year, and especially now with all the like the AI, like everybody's making like AI artwork and stuff. It's like I want to I want like my album artwork. I like using pictures of real things,
Of
whether it seems
course.
bizarre or it seems basic. Like I like things to feel like hey, this is something real. You know, so that's cool. I hope that I hope you get into that and you know have a lot of fun doing it. All right, it's fun question time. I was thinking today I should come up with like a I don't know, like a name for this segment, but you know, it's they're just fun questions, so if don't feel like there's any pressure or anything, but.
Oh no, I'm very excited.
All right, this first one's a softball. Coffee or tea, and how do you take it?
Ooh, coffee. I am so addicted to caffeine. I My go-to is a vanilla latte with oat milk. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, have you ever had a musical fantasy like performing with a certain artist or being on a festival or, something along those lines?
Yes. I really, really want to play slash open for Phoebe Bridgers one day, or Taylor Swift. I really want to play at ACL, at their music festival. I went one year and I loved it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Funny story about that. There was like a scam going around like a year or two ago of somebody like offering for you to play at Austin City Limits, and they were. It seemed like legit. They're like, we'll pay you and all this stuff. Now,
Hmm.
I'm very in tune with like production and how that stuff works. So they were
Of
saying things
course.
that were like, that doesn't really make sense to me. And I think it came down to they were just trying to get like your personal information and stuff. But
Yeah.
I knew a few people that like I guess they like announced that they were doing it and all this stuff, but then it never happened. It was a
Oh my gosh.
really weird thing. So I'm saying all that to say if anything ever pops up like that, seems too good to be true. Like it's always good to just kind of like double check.
Yeah.
Talk to people, see if there anybody else is having that experience. So, anyways, back to the fun stuff. All right, if you could be a character in any TV show, movie, animation, who would it be? And now you could be like just yourself in this environment, or you could be a particular character.
Who I would be Hermione Granger in Harry Potter. I
Nice.
love Harry Potter and I think it would be so cool to be a wizard.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you, what now? Obviously, B question to that is which house do you think you'd end up in?
Ooh,
Obviously, Hermione ends up in Gryffindor, but
of
right?
course. I think based off of my online quizzes, I have ended up in Hufflepuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. If you could have an animal sidekick, which animal would it be?
Ooh, can it be like a sidekick I have who's an animal? Like
Yeah, sure.
already? It would be my dog Busker. He's a Havanese. He's like 12 pounds. Um, yeah, he goes with me everywhere.
Nice. All right. If you could time travel, where and when would you go?
Ooh, very good question. I would want to go to the 70s. I really want to like experience like the not the birth of the singer-songwriter, but like Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Joan Baez, like that era of folk music. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about just being able to see like some of the acts that aren't
Yes.
around anymore.
Yeah.
It's sad that there's like so many that a lot of people will never get to see. So that's cool. All right, last one. If you could be a contestant on any game show, which one would it be?
Ooh. Well, my childhood dream was to be on American Idol, so I have to say
Okay.
American Idol. But I think it would be really cool to be on like America's Got Talent for if I had like a niche um like talent. I think that would be really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
We did I was in Turks and Caicos, and my family did like Family Feud, and it was one of those things where they were doing like a lottery, and somehow it ended up being like me and a few members of my family versus like another group of my family,
Oh my
and it was
gosh.
just like so intense. But I just laugh because they're asking like they asked like most popular superhero. And so
Yeah.
like you just think like of this answer and you're like this is the greatest answer, and then you get like the and I was like wow, like this is a lot harder than it seems in the moment. Like I've definitely watched those shows and been like what is this person doing. So
Yeah,
anyways,
that's so cool. You got to be on Family Feud.
well it wasn't like real Family Feud. It was like it was just like a thing they were doing like in the resort. It's
Oh,
not
okay,
like Steve Harvey
cool.
was there or anything. It was just like the resort crew,
Yeah.
but it was still funny that because they called another family up, but like they weren't all there, so they were like,
Hmm.
"All right, we're going to the next one," and yeah, so it was still a funny time, and we won, so I got a trophy. I don't know where it's at. It's probably in here somewhere, but but yeah. Anyways, Ella, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh
Really
yeah,
hoping the show comes together. I'm really excited to hear the music that's coming.
thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure. It was great talking with you, and I can't wait for the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You have a good night, all right?
Thank you. You as well. Bye.
Check out the links in the description to find more from Ella Rose, and make sure you give her a follow on your favorite streaming platform.